Isn't it time for illegal ham in the face? But bro, where's the banjo?
Some sports shows try to give you hot takes, but only one can give you a big old piece of hot ham. Welcome to Illegal Ham to the Face, talking all Cleveland sports and of course food on our semi-famous Fat Boy Thursday. Here are your hosts, Fatty and Big Bri.
What is going on, everybody? I am that fat guy. As soon as I get the screens messed up here, I am that fat guy. Welcome to Illegal Ham to the Face. I am on remote in the beautiful 614 down in Columbus. I am in the Span Man Cave doing a show with Bride today. We're going to talk a little bit of Browns like we always do, big fella. Talk some Cavs. March Madness is going on right now. But the first thing I got to ask is, Bri, how you doing, big fella?
Fantastic. One of my favorite days of the year. This has been great. Bracket is not completely busted just yet. Missed out on a couple first round picks here so far, but nothing terrible.
Fatty fail, no other reason than a fatty fail. Probably, yeah. That's how it always works. All right, so like I said, I'm down here in Columbus with my family. We're on spring break with the kids. Brian, we're going to show. We're going to have Chris probably hop on with us here a little bit later, talk some Browns. But our show is always presented to you by Kheel and Lake Erie APA. Also, City Dogs Cleveland and Bri. I got some doozies for you today. We got new pups. Today is my turn for trivia. Later on, we're going to talk more March Madness. We're going to talk the Jerry Jeudy deal that came through, the signing of Huntley, what the quarterback in the running back room and the wide receiver room are going to look like now with all the additions. Fat Boy Thursday, we're talking nuts. So we're going to get your take on peanuts, cashews, see how everything fails there. And then finally, our top three is sporting events that we like, going up against Bri or?
No, just throughout the whole year, sporting events that you look forward to the most. And I took out, since we're both giant football fans, I said excluding football games. So take all the football out.
So if you see a little face keep popping in and out of my camera, that's one of my sons. He's excited to see Daddy do his show because normally he doesn't get to. So, Alex, why don't you go ahead and say hi, buddy, and then go in and get ready to get some tacos. Come on, pop in here.
Hello.
All right.
Subscribe.
What's up, dude?
Subscribe.
Hey,
I love it.
See, you coached him up just right.
No, he watches enough YouTube videos. He knows.
Oh, okay. That's right.
He's one of those. So, Brian, you got any shout-outs this week, brother?
No, I don't. Unfortunately, hopefully next week. But I'll turn it over to you. Let us know what you've been up to. Who you shouting out?
We've been to Great Wolf Lodge. Shout out to Great Wolf Lodge in Sandusky. Good time there. Staff is great. Nice place. Great water park. It's a nice little water park for everything. Just enjoy the time with the kids there. Definitely had a blast. Brian, I do have to admit, though, I got the old man snipe as I was walking through the water park, Brian. Going to get cups for the kids and me and my wife. There was the shallow end where the baby pool was, and there was a nice little ramp going down. And obviously, I was fat. I did not pay attention and did not have my Crocs in sport mode. And I hit the edge and went down and rolled my ankle, Bri. And I'm laying there with about 15 people around me asking me if I'm okay, and all I'm doing is laughing.
Were you in your bathing suit, shirt off, like the whole thing, the whole deal?
I wasn't even in my I think I was in my bathing suit. Shirt was on,
okay.
But I had Crocs on, so shirt was on, shorts were on. Just stepped wrong. You know how you step wrong off of a step or something like that, and you just kind of. That's exactly what I did, Brian. I just rolled right down. One of the guys said, he goes, you'd been a true ninja if you would have rolled through and hopped back on your feet. And I said, what part of this is going to do that? I don't see that happening.
So you didn't? Was it in the pool? Did you fall like in the water or no?
No. So what it is they got like a little walkway down into the kiddie pool.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like a little edge until you get like, so it goes down like a couple inches, another foot. So the water wasn't there. It was just like a little ramp going down in that I stepped on the edge of, and just, it was enough to lose my balance, and down I went.
Oh boy.
It
Is that what 40 years old looks like? Just falling in public like that?
Oh my God.
I'm
at
not
first
looking
I was
forward to that.
embarrassed, and then I'm just laughing. I'm like, why am I embarrassed? I don't know these people. I was
Can't
like,
save that.
It just, man, I'll tell you what, like, and the bad thing is I felt it for like the entire next day. I was like, yeah,
geez.
oh yeah, it wasn't good, but you got to power through. That's what the specialty cocktails for out at the Great Wolf Lodge.
Right.
Which, by the way, if you do go out there, try their bourbon peach tea. Fantastic, big fella.
Do you know what kind of bourbon they use?
Jim Beam.
Oh, now you're talking my language. Okay.
So it's actually, and here's a fail for owning Crocs. You know something? What, Justin, once you get to our age
man.
and working at a golf course, Crocs are your best friend sometimes.
Anything you don't have to bend over and tie, I'm in favor of.
See?
God bless the Crocs people.
Bri, I'm telling you, like the last time I've been over to try to tie my shoes, I think I woke up 2 days later. I just cut off the circulation and I was done. I had no clue what was going on.
Oh, we've been the wife and I have been looking around at going to open houses and stuff, and they have you put these little booties on, and yeah, that's not fun. Like, you mind if I go walk over to your steps so I can sit down and put these things? I'm doing the flamingo. I'm pulling one leg up. I'm trying to keep my balance and put these stupid things on. It's just, you go ahead. I'll catch up with you. Yeah, I'm almost there. And so, yeah, it's not pretty. It's embarrassing. And yeah, just walk away. And I had to do it. Usually I'll take my shoes and my boots off or something, but I was wearing, those boat shoes or whatever, that where you don't wear socks. So I'm like, I should probably put these on. Nobody wants to see me walking around their house barefoot. Real world problems, I'm telling you.
Right there, Bri, hashtag fat boy problems. We're just going to start a new segment on this show. Hashtag fat boy problems.
Mm-hmm. I can see how Justin wants to throw shade at Crocs, but
no, he said that he goes, your age. He goes, I'm older than you are, and I prefer UFOs. I don't even know what UFOs are. What are UFOs, Bri?
Never heard of them.
Send me a picture of it, probably.
He's gonna have to send a link or something. Or how do you spell it?
It's 2 O's, an F, an O, and an X.
All right. I'll have to remember to look those up. Maybe they're cheaper. Maybe they're nicer. It would be nice to find something with a little more traction. Crocs don't have great traction on them.
Yeah. Yeah, but hey, they are comfy, bud. I gave you crap for so many years about wearing Crocs at work, and now I'm the guy wearing Crocs at work, and I'm like, I know why he did it now. I know why he did it.
Pat was the one that turned me on to him. I'm like, oh, that doesn't make sense. And he wouldn't even put the flap down. He would be like, how do your feet not fall out of your shoes? And he's like, I don't know, but they're great. And keep your feet dry better than muck shoes. Remember, I had the muck shoes for like 3 or 4 months, and then they got a cut in them, and then my feet were soaked throughout. So they didn't even last one summer. So I'm so cheap. I don't even go to the Crocs. I go to Walmart and buy these $20 ones, knockoffs.
Attaboy. We have Nick Weary in tonight. He said he prefers shark sandals himself.
Another thing we have to look up, shark sandals.
Yeah. Normally we call those flip-flops, but we're
is that what they are? Okay.
Jay, always positive. Jay, he is only one game down to Hammer in the bracket challenge. Beat that man, Jay. Beat that man.
I thought I heard today it shouldn't even count. he didn't have his bracket in by the deadline, so
Oh,
I think
what?
Jay wins. Yeah, I think Jay wins by default.
There's collusion? Bri, you know I don't do
No,
well with collusion.
never.
Just like somebody making a phone call to somebody that I'm playing against for tight ends coming off the board.
That
on
was
the 4
just being a
o'clock
good friend.
afternoon game.
That was just being a good friend. That's all that was.
Nick said they're shaped like sharks because I'm a large child.
Get out of here. I'm gonna have to check those out.
All right. Jay said double or nothing now. Here we go. See, this is part of March Madness.
Double or nothing.
All right. Well, let's
Nice.
get into it. Let's get into our show, Brian. Let's have some fun. I don't have any more shout outs. We do have trivia tonight, which it is my turn. And Brian, with you not being on Twitter is a blessing in disguise.
Okay.
I on Twitter said, hey, Brian's not on here. Let's do a trivia question poll for Bri. So guess what, buddy? Got a good one for you. And it's from our guest last week, which we forgot to thank, Zach Weiss from Across the Cavs. He gave me a nice little gem to give to you. So, Brian, let's play the sounder, and then we'll show off our new dogs from City Dogs. So let me scroll down here and... Oh, Brian, I'm reading the bet between Jay and Hammer, and wow, it's a doozy. So,
do you know who Jay took to win it all, or Final Four teams?
I have
or
no
anything?
clue, but they're doing that first day or first 2 days sit in live stream at ESPN Cleveland, and Jay said if he wins, he gets 2 hours in studio, and if he loses, and Hammer has to sit in the corner and watch.
No.
That's
No.
awesome. Yes. Come on, Jay.
He has to sit in the corner and watch. That's probably the worst part of it.
I hope he has to stick Chris Koss applesauce too.
He's
Chris
one of
Koss
those guys.
applesauce.
Hammer's gonna have to be one of those guys.
Oh my God, I can't wait. That's going to be awesome. All right. Our trivia is brought to you by City Dogs Cleveland. Please go adopt a City Dog. We do have new puppies here. Now, Bri, when I say puppies, these are puppies. Now, first off, this weekend, a very, very special weekend for City Dogs Cleveland. It's our $21 adoption weekend, Bri. Clear out the kennel. Spring into Love, $21 adoptions the 22nd through the 24th, starting tomorrow through Sunday. $21 adoptions. Cannot beat that anywhere, Bri. Now, Beth did send to me, and there's a whole bunch of names here. I'm not going to read the names, but all these pups here are under 40 pounds, okay? She calls them the tiny tykes because most of the dogs they have there are bigger. So here comes the tiny tykes right now. These dogs are all under 40 pounds and available for adoption. Look at that cutie right there, Bri. Got that one. Oh, there's another one. There is one in here, and I know which dog it is, and I want to see. There's one in here named Goober, and I want to see if you knew which one Goober is, okay?
All right.
Here's another one. All these dogs are under 40 pounds. They're at City Dogs Cleveland right now. Beautiful puppies. All of them are. I mean, just look at all these faces, Brian. It's just unreal.
Jeez.
Look at all of them. So there's probably, 10 to 12 pictures I showed right there of just dogs, just tiny dogs at City Dogs. So it doesn't have to be a big dog. 40 pounds and less, all need a good home. Please go to City Dogs Cleveland. Now, Bri, could you picture which one was named Goober?
I'm going to guess the one, I think it had black and white on its face. Maybe a white spot over its face. Okay.
This one was named Goober.
Now, do you know, you said they're under 40 pounds. Are they still puppies? Are they full grown?
No,
Will they remain under 40 pounds?
Some of them are a year old. Some of them are a few years old. Some of them are puppies. But for right now, most of them will range anywhere between 1 and 3 years. There is an older one in here too. So, but all 40 pounds and under, just trying to clear out the kennel. They got another wave of a whole bunch of dogs that came in from, on the streets, people abandoning them, all that stuff. City Dogs is doing God's work. Brian and I both believe it. We've both been supporters of City Dogs ever since we started this podcast. Brian coming up on 4 years now. 4.
Wow.
Crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't. It breaks my heart though, seeing all them puppies. I mean, hopefully, positive attitude. Hopefully, they all find good, loving homes.
And let's pray for that. And like we always say, if you can't adopt, go donate. Whether it be a can of food, a bag of food, a chew toy, donate something to help out City Dogs Cleveland. Even if it's $5. $5 helps out so much for them. You have no idea what $5 gets stretched out into in a kennel like that. So please go help or donate whatever you can. And if you want to volunteer, they have classes where you can go volunteer if you want to. All right, Brian. Trivia, my turn. I brought it out on Twitter. Zach Weiss came up with the trivia. It is Cavs trivia because we will be talking Cavs tonight. Now, it is Matthew Dellavedova trivia.
Okay.
He was here for 2 stints in Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
What 3 numbers did Matthew Dellavedova wear? And, Brian, one of them, I want a name also besides Matthew Dellavedova that wore that jersey.
Boy. I thought you were going to ask me what college you went to, and I think I had a better chance of getting that one than this one.
He went to Australia, didn't he?
He's from Australia. I think he went to college in I don't know. I could be wrong. I want to say he went to St. Mary's or something, but I could.
It had to be Creighton or Drake or some kind of school like that, right?
St. Mary's. I think they're in California. But I don't know. Maybe somebody can fact check that. I don't know, man. I'm trying to think. I think maybe he had low numbers, but yeah, I'll chew him. I certainly don't remember him wearing 3 different numbers. No.
He wore 3 different numbers as a Cav.
Okay.
And I told Zach, I'm like, are you sure about this? And I had to fact check it myself. And I was wrong. So I failed on this one too, Bri. So this is pretty good trivia. Well, Brian, let's get into
Are any of the numbers over 20?
No.
Okay, so I was right. So he did wear low numbers. Okay, gotcha.
All right, Brian, let's dive into our show. Let's get some Cleveland headlines going. Welcome into the actual meat and potatoes of the show, Bri. Tonight, we are going to start out with your Cleveland Cavaliers. It's not going to be a lot that we're going to talk about with them, but we're going to talk. You brought up Donovan Mitchell has a nose or face fracture. He is going to be out for, I think they said a week after he had a little minor surgery to it. But you brought up the question, and it's a great question, Bri. Are the Cavs built for a championship? And I sit there and look at it, and I think if they can get a good run, yes. But, man, I still think they're missing one big piece. What about you?
Yeah, I posed the question because I still can't see this team really competing for a championship, unless now they are very, very young. So maybe I'm jumping the gun a little bit, but just from what I've seen from them, it's just a question of, do they ride it out? Do they say we're young? And obviously you're going to tinker with the roster a little bit. But what I mean by this question is, our big four. Is this big four going to lead us? And when I say compete for a championship, I mean, maybe not necessarily win a title, because we know how difficult that is, but can they make it to the NBA Finals? Can they maybe, push the Celtics or the Bucks to 6 or 7 games in the Eastern Conference Finals. And I don't know about you, but I for sure am pretty certain it's not going to happen this year. But if we stick with it, if we see this out over the next 3 or 4 years, do I ever see us getting to that point? And yeah, I go back to, what I've thought for a while, and that is just this two 6-foot guards and 2 big men in today's NBA, where the wing players are dominating and winning championships. And rarely do you win a championship if you don't have some 6'6", 6'8", 6'9" wing player that can just take over a game. So I think they need to get off of what they're at now. And for me, it's kind of simple after thinking about it a little bit. This offseason is a big offseason with Donovan Mitchell. So we have to put the screws to him, call it an ultimatum, whatever you want to call it. Hey, either you sign this contract for 3, 4, 5 years, or we're going to trade you. It's the end of the line. You do this or you're gone. So either this offseason we have our answer, whether we're moving forward with Donovan Mitchell, or if he says he doesn't want to be here and we move forward with Darius Garland and get what we can for Mitchell, because I think he still has maybe 1 year left. So this offseason we have to decide Mitchell or Garland, and then I'm comfortable giving it another year with Mobley and with Allen to see if maybe they separate. I talked about a couple weeks ago about defining their roles. If they have separate roles, because right now I feel like their roles are the same: play defense, rebound, and score around the basket. So, and not much of a physical presence inside. But I'm okay with giving them another year, and then maybe next offseason deciding, is it Mobley or is it Allen, and then splitting those 2 up. And so, yeah, that's where I'm at. I think you have to make some changes. Ideally, it would be Mitchell and Mobley continues to grow. Mobley and Mitchell as your 2 cornerstones of your team, and maybe filling around them. But yeah, what do you think? Are you good with going forward with these 4 players for the next 3, 4, 5 years?
Brian, I'm good for this year with this group right now. And the one thing I want to see is when we do get to the playoffs. There's no way we're not getting into the playoffs, correct?
Yeah, it would take a pretty gigantic choke job. I mean, for sure, at least the play-in.
Okay. Well, the one thing I need to see, especially for this team, Brian, I need to see Evan Mobley step it up a little bit. I know he's been injured. I know he's been kind of a little bit going behind, but I need him to be in the postseason form. You know how the whole flip the switch? I need to see a different Evan Mobley in the postseason to make me feel better about the years going forward. Because I think he is the one person that you drafted that you want to cornerstone your franchise around. I know we have Donovan Mitchell. I want to re-sign Donovan Mitchell. I think Donovan Mitchell in Cleveland with Evan Mobley will be crazy good. But I still think that there's more development that Evan Mobley needs to make this team the championship contender. Like you said, there's always steps. Like I think they can get to, if they play good and they play their basketball right, I think they can get to the Eastern Conference Eastern Conference championship game.
This year?
This year. If they play good. But
really?
that's because of other injuries, though. I mean, you got Embiid out. Sixers are down.
But he'll be back, it sounds like. So assuming everyone's healthy, do you think?
Assuming everybody's healthy, Bri, they're going to get past the first round in the second round. And I think if they get paired up with a certain team, and I don't know exactly what team that is, but I think they could take a team to Game 7. Like they're right on that cusp. I think they can be. Now, saying that they will, though, that's a whole different story. But I think they can be right on that cusp. But the only reason they would be on that cusp is 1, Donovan Mitchell, number 2, Evan Mobley. Those 2 have got to get a connection together and figure out what is going on between those 2 chemistry-wise. Because I love Darius Garland, and I know he plays good. He plays the point very good. He turns the ball over too much for me. I love Jared Allen. Jared Allen plays great defense, and he is great down low, but he doesn't extend the floor like you need him to extend the floor. I think the Mitchell and Mobley factor are the two things going forward with this team. And after this postseason, Bri, I think they'll figure out what they need to do. And if they need to pivot and turn and go a different way, they will. But if they don't, they stay pat with these two and try to figure it out going forward.
Yeah, I don't have a ton of optimism when Mobley comes back that he's just going to be this different player. I think he's going to be what he's been all year for us, and that somebody who's not a bad player. He's not hurting us, although you can make the argument with Mobley and Allen on the floor together that we're not a great team. I think the numbers back that up, but yeah, I think he's gonna come back. He's gonna be fine. He might have a day where he scores 20. He might have the next game where he scores 12. And I just don't think right now. And I'm not bagging on the guy too much. He's still very young, and it's a talented league, and especially everyone steps their game up in the playoffs. But let's say just hypothetically we go out in the first round again this year. What would your plan be like for the offseason? Do you think we go first round exit again? We just run it back next year, or like do we have to make some major shakeups to the roster?
I think you would have to look at the coach at that point in time, Bri. JB would be the one that you'd have to look at. Now, I'm not saying I don't like JB Bickerstaff. I think he's done great things here for the Cavs. But that would be the knee-jerk reaction probably because of ownership. You have a team. You have a superstar on that team. You have technically 3 other stars on that team, and it's not working out. You're supposed to take that next step. I think if they get to like the second round and further, I think JB stays. But if they go out in the first round again, Bri, I think JB might be gone, and they might be looking in to bring another coach to kind of develop these guys together.
Yeah, and I think we maybe differ, and just that, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I think it's more on the roster than the coach, and maybe a coach could make the change, could get these guys to play together. But yeah, like I've been saying, we have duplicates. We don't have a full team. We have 2 good point guards, 2 good big men, and I think Colby Altman doesn't get enough crap. I think if we go out in the first round, he's the guy that I'm looking at. Like, hey, I understand you made a pretty big move for Donovan Mitchell a couple years ago, but I feel like you missed an opportunity last offseason when we saw how physically outmatched we were. And you can make the argument that, well, maybe it's just one team. Maybe it's just the Knicks are ultra physical and we'll just never match up with them. But he knows the issue. He knows we're not a physical enough team. That's why, but he keeps putting these Band-Aids on it. And he says, okay, we'll get Tristan Thompson, see how that works out. We'll get him out at ESPN Studios. And then this week we sign, is it Marcus Morris to a 10-day contract? And, And he comes in, he plays well, but he's another tough guy. And so we're getting these tough guys at the end of their careers to try to maybe give some physicality. But at the end of the day, they're just, they're guys you're not going to count on them really in the postseason to play more than maybe 10 minutes or something like that. So yeah, it's frustrating for me and I was surprised to hear Zach last week say, okay, we got the in his mind, he thought the Celtics and maybe the Bucks might be ahead of the Cavs right now in the East. And I think clearly the Bucks, the Bucks are a championship quality team. And I know they're dealing with health issues as well. But anytime you have Giannis and Dame Lillard together, I think their experience in the playoffs is going to carry them in a series against the Cavs. And then just, after that, I think, the Knicks dismantled you last year. So in my mind, we're behind them still. And I know they're dealing with injuries as well. And same with the 76ers. I wouldn't feel confident because I think Embiid and Maxey are 2 of the 3 best players in the series. And then there's a pretty big fall off after that. So in my mind, I've been saying it all year. They're going to have to prove it to me. Right now, I have them maybe fifth, maybe sixth. Knowing what Miami did in the playoffs last year, I don't know how we could just vault ahead of them when they went on a run not less than 12 months ago and made it to the NBA Finals.
Yeah. Yeah, and then they beat you last night by 3. Yeah. Right, it's just tough being a Cavs fan right now because we're in that in-between stage.
Right. There's hope. It's just like how long do you see this out? And I brought up the name DeAndre Hunter a couple weeks ago, and he's not anybody that people are going to get super excited about if we trade Darius Garland for him. But I don't think like right now, and I waited 30 minutes before I brought up the name Justin Fields, so let it be known. I feel like maybe Darius Garland, maybe Jared Allen are like Justin Fields, to where the fans, the media think they're really good and think we can just trade them for all-stars, but like around the league, they're like, yeah, they're not bad players, but here's a 6-rounder. So
there's that Ohio State hate coming out of you.
Can I take my victory lap now? It's still light out. I can make it all the way around my house, I think.
Are you sure? Because old age is creeping up on you too. I might sneak over there and trip you.
You might have to send the squad if you don't see me in the next 10 minutes.
All right. So right before we leave, Brian, getting bounced out of the first round, would that be a disappointment to you this year?
Oh, absolutely. 100%. If you get bounced in the first round, I mean, unless something happens to Donovan Mitchell. If something happens to Donovan Mitchell, it sucks. Like, I don't know where you go from there if that happens. But if you're close to full strength, I expected you to win a first-round series last year. So I definitely expect you to win a first-round series this year. And, yeah, like I said, I would have made changes last offseason. So if they don't make changes this offseason after getting bounced again, it's just very, very frustrating.
Yeah. Yes, it is. Yes, it is, Brian. All right, let's get into the Browns, because Browns have made some moves that have just sent social media in a craze and sent everybody else just going crazy. The first move they made, Brian, we'll talk about the quarterback room. They signed Tyler Huntley as a backup quarterback. He used to back up Lamar Jackson in Baltimore. He was a Pro Bowler in Baltimore. Man, Brian, this quarterback room, this is screaming something scary to me right now, Brian, because you have Deshaun Watson, Jameis Winston, Tyler Huntley, and now DTR. And what scares me the most about this is everybody keeps telling me, well, we always bring 4 quarterbacks in for a camp. Yeah, but normally that third and fourth quarterback are nobodies, Brian. Tyler Huntley's not a nobody. He backed up Lamar Jackson for years. You got Jameis Winston, who's not a nobody. And you got Deshaun Watson. Part of me is freaking out right now thinking that Deshaun Watson is not going to be okay starting out, and they brought those 2 guys in to kind of ride the wave until Deshaun Watson comes back. Like speculation, pure speculation, Brian.
Sure.
But that's what it feels like right now. And it scares the shit out of me as a Browns fan that this is going on, because you're bringing in like 2 solid backups. And I understand everybody gets injured. But if you're bringing in 2 solid backups, that means you're not really concerned. You're really concerned about your starting quarterback.
Yeah, I thought it had me scratching my head as well. I won't lie. But we're still early. We don't know. Clearly, it's a pretty serious injury with Deshaun Watson. So, the Browns can be hopeful. The doctors can be hopeful. But really, at the end of the day, maybe nobody really knows how he's going to recover. And also, it doesn't sound like he's going to be involved a whole lot in the off-season workouts, like throwing or anything like that. So, yeah, it's a bit of a head scratcher. But then I asked myself, like, well, if Tyler Huntley's available and he kind of fits what our quarterback room is, and that he provides some mobility, and he can also play from the pocket. So Like if you can get him on the cheap, why not get him? No, maybe it's a knee-jerk reaction to what happened last year. Going through 4 quarterbacks, really 5 started a different game. So I think, is that Chris? What's up, man?
How you
bring
doing,
some
bud?
tacos? Good.
Oh yeah.
I'm starving.
Oh,
You start
all
talking
prepared.
about your tacos.
All done.
But yeah, I don't know. Maybe Chris can chime in. I'm not freaking out too much about it, but hey, the more good quarterbacks you can have, knowing what happened last year, I won't complain too much.
Talking about Tyler Huntley being signed.
Yeah. I don't. It's hard to think that they lost faith in DTR when he was starting to improve before he got hurt. So what's really going on with Deshaun is a question. I hope he's healthy. We're paying him to be healthy, so. But I don't know. Maybe they are hoping for some competition, and they can kind of weed out whoever's not going to work out. And Deshaun is healthy.
Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe this move says more about how they feel about DTR than anything else. Like, there was a point. Well, last year for the first half of the season, we were comfortable with DTR being our only backup, and now we have 2 guys that they presume will be ahead of him. So yeah. And again, I can't remember what his injury was. So maybe they're nervous about him. Maybe they're just they're in win now mode, and they don't have time to wait for a rookie to develop. So they need a guy with experience.
Well, the next thing that happened while we got all this, the running back room has changed again. We have signed Devontae Foreman. So we got now Nakeem Hines, Foreman, Ford, Chubb. There's one other one here, Strong.
Yep.
So we got an array of running backs. I love this signing, Bri, because the guy's just a bruiser. He is just one of those ones that you get to the goal line, and also take a lot of hard snaps away from Chubb, especially if you need 1 yard, right?
Oh, definitely. Absolutely. Kind of fills the Kareem Hunt role from last year.
Yeah, I'm not too upset, and especially for what they got him. It's an experienced back in there. And it looks like they went that way. They didn't go with a younger back. They went with Hines and Foreman to be more experienced there in the backfield. I think it's a great signing because that guy falls forward like 2 yards every time. There's no pushing him backwards. And he's had a very good career, and to come in and be here with the Browns and want to be here, I am all for it. The question now is with that, where do you put Ford and Hines? Where do you put Foreman? How do you rank them? Because we both know Chubb's not going to be ready at the beginning of the year. I think everybody knows that. We're going to have a few games without Nick Chubb until he gets ramped up and comes back. Now, we've been surprised before. We'll see how the recovery goes, but I think that's what they're preparing for, is to have the 3 running backs of Ford, Foreman, and Hines, and having Strong be their kick returner / kind of special teamer. What do you think, Bri?
Yeah, I think it's just insurance. I think it's a great move. I like it. He's a bowling ball. He's 6 foot, 235, so he's a big body back, and he's just somebody that can eat up carries, and maybe a little bit fresher than a Kareem Hunt. And yeah, he fits the role. He's the bruiser that maybe I was calling for last week or 2 weeks ago with AJ Dillon. Just the guy who, until Chubb fully gets up to speed, he can eat maybe 5 to 10 carries a game. And even when Chubb is at full strength, he's not going to have to carry the ball 20 to 25 times. He could carry it 15, and Foreman can get a couple, and Ford can get a couple. And I like the diversity in the room, where Chubb's your workhorse, Foreman's your bruiser, and then Ford is maybe kind of a change of pace back. and Hines is your third down back, receiving back. And so I don't know. You're probably going to end up cutting one of them or trading one of them when you throw Strong in there. I think Ford, maybe if you can find a suitor to trade for him, he might be up for getting something, a draft pick or whatever. So I think between Strong and Hines and Ford, one of them won't be there. Once Chubb comes back, I guess. If Chubb's on the PUP list or something for the first 6 games, then they'll maybe keep all 4 of them. But once Chubb is back and contributing, I think it's tough to carry 5 backs.
Yeah, and I also think, Bri, with all these guys coming in, they didn't sign them to huge contracts. I think this is bringing them in, letting the backups fight for the backup spot, and giving Ford some more competition. Seeing if he is the guy that they drafted him to be the backup to Nick Chubb, and see if that's going to work out. Because right now, last year he had his struggles there in the second half of the season. There was glimpses. I'm not saying there wasn't glimpses where he would break free and go, but you and I both commented last year that the running game was just trash in the second half of the season, and it was not good, and things needed to change, and they're taking some swings at it. I like the running back room, but like you said, if they put Nick Chubb on that, that injured reserve list for the first 6 weeks or something like that, you're going to need all the running back help you can get. And I think adding these guys will, and especially veterans that have been in the league enough, I think that will help out a lot for the Cleveland Browns.
Oh yeah, I'm excited. I like how they kind of serve different roles. I think Hines can be your kick returner, how he was in Buffalo, and also your third down back, and then the other guys can kind of fill in and do a little something, maybe keep the defenses on their toes because they don't know what to expect, whether it's power or speed out of the backfield.
Yeah. Yep. Now, the other signing that happened is we traded for Jerry Jeudy. You're going to chime in on this one, I hope so. Traded for Jerry Jeudy, and then they extended Jerry Jeudy for a 3-year, $41 million guaranteed up to 50, blah, 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 incentive right out of the gate, Bri, without even seeing him. A lot of people are kind of like, where did this come from? Where did money come from? And I think it's Andrew Berry trying to play chess right now and hoping that he is they loved him coming out in the draft when they had him. All right, back in 2020 when he came out. Browns loved him. They wanted him. They tried to trade for him before. They didn't get the trade to go through. Andrew Berry is just enamored with Jerry Jeudy. And he is the one guy that he's wanted. And now if people think about him, if you do get Jerry Jeudy and you get the production out of him that you're supposed to get out of him, Bri, this extension is a steal. Just a straight-up steal. Because he could be a solid number 2, if not a great number 2, or a low number 1. You know what I'm saying? Like, he has that potential. The potential is still there. We haven't seen it. Now, hoping that a change of scenery changes stuff for him. But I actually like this signing because, one, drops him down. He's here with the window with Deshaun Watson, no matter what happens. And normally they front load those contracts, so that it's pretty much a 2-year window of him to show what he's got left in the tank and if he wants to play football. And if not, they can cut ties with him. But it's a former first rounder, just like Devin Bush, just like some of these other guys they're bringing in, and they've been trying to do that for years, is bringing in former first rounders and just kicking the tires on them, see if it was the place they were at before that did not use them right, or if it's them and they just don't want to play football, or they don't want to be like Devin Bush. Devin Bush isn't a horrible player. Where he was at, where he was drafted, he might have been drafted too high, but he wasn't a horrible player. He's a decent player. So with this, I think that's what they're doing with Jeudy, and they're hoping that Jeudy becomes that solid number 2 right next to Amari Cooper, and hoping that Alabama connection between him and Cooper will get him on straight, because guess what? Cooper's deal is going to be up here within next year or 2. So you have that too. So you've got a really young guy, a very young guy. I think he's only 24 still, 24, 25. Got a very young guy on a very cheap deal. If you look at it, it is a cheap deal compared to wide receivers. It is like between 10 and $12 million a year deal, where you have other players getting a lot more money than that. And if he produces that way, he's going to live up to that contract.
I think it's closer to like 19 mil a year. Three for 58. But
Well, they had to
that's
pay
kind.
this year though, right? Because this year was a 12 point something year, and then they extended it.
Oh, is that okay? Yeah, maybe you know better than I do. I just saw 3 for 58, so just doing the math based on that. So maybe there's some other factors going in. So what does Chris think of it?
Well, to add on to that, like Jared just said, what wide receivers are getting now. Let's look at Calvin Ridley with the Titans. The amount they paid for Calvin Ridley, who was amazing until he decided to do a little gambling, and now he didn't. I mean, he played for a really good quarterback in Jacksonville. Didn't really do much. Maybe it was, they just didn't pair up well or whatever it was, but the Titans went out and paid him all that money. To me, that's a steal. You think, okay, 5th, 6th rounder, Amari's on his last year. This could feed in if we decide Amari isn't the next stepping stone. It pairs up with Deshaun really well. Maybe they hit it off really well, and that can just skyrocket our team into the next, I guess, transition for the Browns. Because there are a lot of, Chubb, he has what, this year, and is it one more year?
Mm-hmm.
So we might be hitting another transition in 2 years. That I love Chubb, but if he doesn't come back, which is a fear, then we have to start thinking in the future. And I think that's what Andrew Berry is trying to do. Is he's not just thinking this year, which is helping bringing him on. He's 3 to 4 years down the road. So I think it's a great deal. I'm very happy with it.
Yeah, I'm warming up to it. At first, it was maybe a little bit of a tough pill to swallow. Just hearing the amount of money they gave him, and I think most of us can agree that maybe his production hasn't matched that. And to me, it kind of feels like a deal that the Indians or the Guardians would make. You pay a guy in hopes that he continues to progress, and like when his contract is up, you're going to have to pay a ton more for him, and maybe you can't afford him, so you're going to pay him now. And it also reminds me of the Njoku deal. Like at the time, we're all like, man, Njoku's getting top 5 tight end money. And so they did that, hoping that he would take the next step. And I think that's where we're at with Jerry Jeudy. But yeah, it still bothers me a little bit, just because I think ideally in my mind, I would have liked to give that money that we're going to pay Jeudy for 1 year, give that money to a Mike Williams, like I said maybe a couple weeks ago, and let Williams, Jeudy, and Elijah Moore kind of battle it out for that second receiving role. And then whoever gets it, whoever comes up big and produces throughout the whole season, then maybe you move forward with that guy. If none of them do, then you get a first-round pick back next year, and you can use that on a wide receiver. So to commit to a wide receiver that hasn't really done a whole lot in the league up to this point is kind of been a bust based on where he was drafted, and also hasn't done anything for your franchise to just hand him this money. I don't know how that's going to go over in the locker room. I don't know how Amari Cooper is really going to handle this. Like, you're in his mind, or just from outside looking in, you think, well, they're taking Amari's money and they're giving it to Jerry Jeudy, and they're asking Amari to mentor Jeudy, kind of like, at our job or your job. If they could bring somebody in younger than you and they say, teach him everything you know, and oh, by the way, we're going to give him your money, and we're probably going to cut you loose in a year or two. So yeah, it's going to be interesting dynamic. certainly he's got a lot of pressure on him, but that's kind of the whole Browns offense, really. And yeah, I'm hopeful. I think the Browns are hopeful, but outside of that, he's like you said, he's 24. In my mind, it sounds like, based on what I've heard from him, he has a lot of maturing to do still. And I don't blame him for that. He's a 20-year-old millionaire, so that's going to be kind of difficult. And he's had people telling him how great he was for the last 5 to 10 years, and so he probably thinks, why do I need to work harder? But yeah, hopefully Amari Cooper can get through to him and teach him what it's like to be a professional.
Yeah, let's hope that, because what we got right now, Bri, is we got one proven in Amari Cooper and 4 unknowns. We still don't know what Elijah Moore is. We still don't know what Jerry Jeudy is. We don't know what Tillman's going to be coming into his second year. And we don't know what David Bell is going to be also. So we got a lot of question marks at wide receiver still behind Amari Cooper.
Well, and one thing that I thought of, like, Andrew Berry just made this deal for Elijah Moore last year. And it's almost like he has to root against Elijah Moore now. Because how bad would he look if Elijah Moore comes in this season and he's better than Jerry Jeudy? And, he's clearly our number 2 receiver. Well, now what the hell do you do? You already paid Jeudy. You're committed to Jeudy.
He already invested that, though, with a second-round pick, though, Bri.
No, not this kind of money. There's a big difference between $19 million a year and dropping down in the draft 32 spots. To me, it's almost like, if we can relate it to the Deshaun Watson and the Joe Flacco debate that everyone has, and they say, well, Deshaun's going to be your guy because you paid him all this money, so there's no chance Joe Flacco, who a lot of people think are better than Deshaun, there's no chance you're going to stick with Flacco because you already made the financial commitment to Deshaun. So now it could be the same thing over. Elijah Moore looks like he's better than Jerry Jeudy, but you've made the financial commitment for 3 years to Jeudy, so you have to ride it out with this lesser player.
Yeah. Yeah, Brian, next week, why don't we have some fun and grade the positions next week, position groups before the draft, and see where you and I are at on the same page. We might even get Chris in here on that too.
Sure.
But we gotta keep moving, because we do have family here. March Madness is also going on in the background right now. We got Gonzaga beating McNeese State. Mm-hmm. All right, we've had some upsets today.
Colorado State put up 11 points in the first half.
Yeah,
that's terrible.
Oof. Not good. Not good. So, Brian, talking about March Madness, you and I both love March Madness. We always do a little bracket between each other to have some fun. But, Brian, who do you have in your Final Four, and who did you pick to win this year?
My Final Four looks like I have Illinois in the top left. Then I have North Carolina, bottom left. Top right is I think Kentucky, and bottom right is Kansas. I went with Kansas, and then I find out today that the coach says their best player is not going to play for the whole tournament. So I regret that one a little bit, but I just don't believe in Purdue, really.
Don't you talk shit about Brian right now. He's just trying to badmouth you over here, Brian. I'm not going to
bag on my. Hey, it hasn't busted yet, but Kentucky's losing by 3 to Oakland. It looks like.
Hey, runner up for the past 3 years in fantasy football.
I know.
Talking all this shit over here.
Hey,
come on.
He beat me. I wasn't runner up. I didn't win. So he's allowed.
No. So who do you got winning it all then?
I have Carolina. I don't feel great about it, but yeah, usually the favorites don't win. Especially, it's been how many years since a team won back to back? It's been how many years since the number 1 overall seed won it all? So everyone's picking UConn, and I'm just like, I don't know. History would tell you that that's not going to happen.
Do you realize who the fuck we're talking to? And you're gonna bring that shit up on the show. Just talking
He's
about
talking
Florida.
Justin Fields stuff. Oh,
No,
he sounds
he's talking about-
serious.
He's talking about Florida winning back-to-back national championships.
Oh, hey, I'm all for it. Well, yeah, you're the only one in the room that's sad about that.
Jesus. All right, so Brian, my final four. Mine's a little weird, and you're going to like this, Brian. I think I got Auburn up top.
I
Down
like
below,
that.
I got North Carolina. I got Houston coming out of the top right, and I got Purdue. And then in the finals, I got Purdue and North Carolina, and I got Purdue winning it all.
Could happen. It's a couple years ago, Virginia lost in the first round as the number 1 seed, and they won it all the following year. So,
Well, I'm
banking on
kind of
that.
curious because the last time that you and I did a bracket together, I think Purdue had a number 1 seed again, and I picked them to go all the way to the finals and busted my bracket to break because that's when they lost to like a 15 seed or whatever.
Well, last year they lost to a 16 seed.
There it was. Last year.
Fairleigh Dickinson.
Stupid.
There you go.
Stupid March Madness. But hey, man, some great basketball has been played right now.
Oh, it's fun. I was laughing the whole time about that the Dayton Nevada game because everyone's saying all leading up to it. Hey, all the insiders are saying, well, this game's going to be played in Salt Lake City, and the elevation is going to be a factor. And Nevada's used to the elevation. Dayton is not, so Dayton will wear down as the game goes on. The exact opposite happened. Nevada had a giant lead until the very end, and then Dayton came storming back, and Nevada faltered, and it was like a 20-2 run or something in the second half, and Dayton won. And so that's what's fun about it. I mean,
Flyers, baby.
Throw all the logic out the window. And all these analysts and everybody, don't listen to them because they're going to pick the best teams, which the 1 seeds and the 2 seeds are the best teams, but they don't always win. So yeah, I put in all this time and energy watching these shows about these experts picking their Final Fours, and they're looking like their Final Fours looking like you, like 1 seed, 1 seed, 1 seed, maybe 2 seed, 3 seed. And it's just because legitimately they are the best teams, but the best teams don't win in March.
Hey, I got Auburn in there. Don't you start no shit.
Oh, 3 1 seeds. Congrats. Let's throw a parade for not putting the 4th 1 seed in there.
Houston's not a 1 seed, are they? Oh, well, never mind. My bad.
Well, that's the thing. They
That's
go
fine.
to these arenas, and the 1 seed, yes, they are the favorite. Yes, they probably are the better team. But when that lower seed starts to do really well, I'll tell you, the crowd, it doesn't matter if it's considered home field advantage for that 1 seed because they've done so well all year. That lower seed, a lot of the crowd, it's not that they're necessarily rooting against the 1 seed, but their team that they're rooting for could end up playing the 1 seed. So now they are rooting for that upset. And the crowd churns on you. You get a little nervous. And all of a sudden, Fairleigh Dickinson takes down Purdue and ruins Jared's bracket.
It was horrible. I had to hear so much crap from Brian that week. It was unbelievable. Like, I didn't even have to – at that point in time, I could just watch the actual games for the enjoyment instead of rooting for somebody because at the point in time, I had nothing else. I had nothing else left to do.
Well, now what's the nice thing now is in Ohio you can bet on these games, so you still have, even when your bracket gets busted, you can still put a $5 bet on this team to win, and you make it fun. Which, by the way, bring some cash for Sunday. We might do some squares.
Oh, I'm in. I'm in.
Yep, I got to find out. I guess we probably won't know what game is going to be played at noon until after tomorrow's games.
That's all right. We'll figure it out. What time is it? Is it at noon? Is what we're doing?
Yeah, noon. I'll probably be there maybe 11 o'clock or so. So come over.
I
whenever.
might be there early with you. I might have the wife and the kids drop me off on our way back north, and then I might catch an Uber on the way home.
Sounds like a plan.
All right. Well, let's get into Fat Boy Thursday, buddy. Fat Boy Thursday. We are talking nuts. We are talking peanuts, pistachios, cashews. I put out a poll on Twitter. What is the best nut? Right now, cashews were kind of running away with it. Pistachios were a close second, and peanuts were third. And I put an other in the comments because you got walnuts and everything else. So, and also we got to talk about peanut butter because peanut butter's got nuts in it, right?
It can crunchy.
Okay, yeah, a little crunchy peanut butter. All right. So, Brian, what's your favorite nut?
Oh boy! All right, the favorite nut. If I'm just going for the one that tastes the best, it's peanuts. Any kind of dry roasted, honey roasted, whatever. I guess out of a shell if you're at a baseball game or something. But being old like we are, they say walnuts and almonds are good for your heart. So eat a bunch of those. So I probably find myself eating those more than anything else. And those almonds, who makes a Blue Diamond or something with the different flavored ones, wasabi and smokehouse and salt and vinegar. Yeah, they're making pretty good. They taste good. I'm not a huge fan of how hard they are, so I understand why cashews might be a little more popular. But yeah, I probably eat more walnuts and almonds than anything else, but I prefer peanuts.
I'm kind of with you. I love the cashews, but the honey roasted peanuts you get from Planters, or it doesn't even matter which one. Honey roasted peanuts are just the shit. But you can't go wrong with summertime coming around, getting a bag of peanuts, watching a baseball game, and just cracking shells and just. Now I've seen people eat like the whole shelf. Brian, do you eat the whole shell?
Sometimes. Mm-hmm.
We still got to try the Coke thing.
Yeah, that's a Southern thing.
It's a Southern thing. They put it in Coke and soak them in Coke.
Really?
Right?
Oh, yeah. They'll put them in a Coke bottle and or boiled peanuts is a thing down south. I'd be up for all that.
I'm going to have to try some of that. The one person that brought up was some people don't like cashews. I get that. If I'm going to get anything, it's going to be like the jar of mixed nuts. So you kind of get a little bit of everything. But like I said, if I got to pick one, it's the honey roasted peanuts. Or, hey, Brian, dare I say, chocolate covered anything. You get some chocolate covered peanuts.
Mm-hmm.
Game over.
Pistachios are phenomenal too. They're just sometimes they're too much work. You get the ones that are out of the shell already, I guess is the best way to do it, but it's like $12 for a small bag or something, and you blow through it like within hours. So I like pistachios. It's just a lot of work.
Cashews for me is one, but there's something about a whole shelled peanut at a baseball game where you're
telling you, man.
And I miss when Texas Roadhouse did it. And I know it kind of stopped with the COVID thing, but
it wasn't even the COVID thing. It's all the peanut allergies.
Oh,
yeah. That's pretty much what it is.
Oh, yeah.
Go to Texas Roadhouse. What do you want?
I mean, it's the same thing with Five Guys. Like, they got the huge sign that says, if you got peanut allergy, do not come in here.
I would do the same thing.
I mean, I'm the same way, though. Like, you go into those places, you're just cracking them.
And eating. I was doing it today because I had Five Guys today. Five Guys.
Wow.
What'd you get on your Five Guys?
Oh, I went bacon, mushroom, lettuce, ketchup, sauteed onions, mayonnaise. I think that was it.
Damn, that's pretty good. Single, double?
Yeah.
Double?
And you can get a small fry, and
that's the one.
That's not a small fry.
Do you get the Cajun fries?
No, I usually go normal. I've had the Cajun good, but
they're good.
I usually go normal. And I know it is expensive, and I'm not going to have it, once a week or anything like that. And could I find a better burger somewhere? Yes, but there's something about that messy Five Guys burger that just, it's good. It's good. We're getting off subject. Peanuts.
Well, you brought up burgers. Speaking of better burgers, did Brown Bag close?
It did.
Oh man! Like everywhere, all their locations.
Heartbroken. I think they still got the one. I think it's in Strongsville. It's still open. I'm not sure.
Really?
But the one in
Okay.
North Olmsted closed, and it turned into Sakura, the Japanese restaurant.
Yeah, I
So
drove past it about a month or two ago.
yeah, it's heartbreaking. That's some of the best burger. I'm telling you what, that was better than Five Guys, Bri.
I agree.
Hands down, 100% better than Five Guys.
Yep. It's a damn
COVID
shame.
killed all the good food, Bri. COVID killed it. All right, Bri, let's get into our top 3 and close out the show.
Yeah.
And then we got trivia. You want to do trivia first or top 3?
We can do trivia. Maybe Chris can help me out because
I didn't get the
I'm
question.
flailing here.
So Matthew Dellavedova, his tenure with the Cavs, had 3 different numbers.
Oh, God.
What were those numbers?
I may have gotten 1.
Bri, give it to me.
8? Was he 8?
8. That's one of them.
Okay. All right.
Was he also? See, I'm saying 3, but
No.
I was gonna say 13, but that was Tristan. So, you said they're all under 20. I'll give you 2. 9 and 10.
You got 9. You got 2 of them.
9. Okay. My last one that came to mind was 0.
Bri, he's one of your favorite players.
Favorite Cavs player or favorite
Favorite Cavs player.
Cavs player? 18.
18. Hot Rod.
Hot
Williams,
Rod.
baby.
Really?
So 18.
Now that
9,
number
and
should be
8.
retired.
I know it should be.
I don't remember him as 18.
So the other people, we were doing like little Cavs nuggets, especially with March Madness. I think Mateen Cleaves, if you remember him back in 2004.
Oh yeah,
the
big time.
2002 run with Michigan State.
Mhm.
He wore I think it was number 8 or 9. And then there was another one in there, and I can't remember offhand, but we got to get moving, bud. Let's get into our top 3, and I'll play the sounder for our top 3 as soon as I get. See, Chris, see how hard it is? How hard it is to do this show? You got to scroll and you got to click shit, and it's difficult. Okay. All right, so top 3 tonight. The things that just were said to me here offhand. The top 3 tonight is sporting events you look forward to, correct, Brian?
You got it.
All right, not including football, though. So no football.
Not including football games. So I might have some other football stuff going on, but no games.
Okay, so for me, I'll go first, Brian.
You go first. Chris can go second, and then I'll.
My number 3 is March Madness. Look forward to it every year. It's just crazy. Games being played, kids getting happy. Love March Madness. Number 2, the U.S. Open. Golf. Brian, you and I work at golf courses, and when the U.S. Open comes around, it will make any man humble. Watching PGA pros that normally could throw up a 20 under on any golf course, struggling to break even par, I love every minute of it. And then finally, my number 1, and I wish I had Jim Nance saying it in the background. Welcome to Magnolia Lane, the Masters. Bri, there's just something about springtime and the flip over in the Masters. Every year I look forward to the Masters, Bri. I cannot wait for the Masters. One of my top favorite things to watch. I love it. So that is my number 1. You want me to go to Chris next?
Yeah, Chris, if you're ready. If not, I'll go.
You go ahead. I got to think about this for a minute.
Okay.
No football, right?
No football games. I got a football one, but it's not a game. My number 3, I'm with you. March Madness, and a lot of these come up pretty quickly here in my mind because September to February is blocked off with football games. So I'm trying to think other ones. March Madness. It's kind of like, for me, it also has to do with the weather. And just the time of year, spring's my favorite time of year. Just getting out of the winter, finally getting outside again and doing stuff. So March Madness is kind of the beginning of hopefully the nice weather, even though it's not going to be great the next week here. So that's my number 3. My number 2, I'm with you, the Masters. It's just something I look forward to. Even now, I can't wait for it. It's just, there's something about it. It's just so magical. Like, there's nothing else in sports, if you're a golf fan at all, just as magical as the Masters, even including football. Just feels like so nostalgic, and would love to go there sometime. And my number 1 is something that it's just one night, and I haven't been able to enjoy it for a couple years now because it's the NFL draft, and I look forward to it. Basically, from the time the Browns are eliminated up until the end of April, I start, looking at mock drafts. Who do I want? Start zoning in on a couple guys. Watch the combine, getting ready for it, and hopefully, it's not going to be as big of a deal now that the Browns are starting to have a little more success. And when we're picking the top 10, top 5 every year, it's like this guy could change our franchise. And now it's not quite as important. But yeah, the NFL draft will always be my number 1.
All right, Chris, your top 3.
Top 3. Let me start with a couple of wild cards first. Honorable mentions.
You're
This
killing me
guy,
right now.
I'm killing him.
I'm
So you got to pee.
Honorable mentions. Kentucky Derby's really nice.
Yeah, I thought about that for sure.
Every 4 years, I love soccer. FIFA World Cup is for me, and I know a lot of people don't care for soccer, but I do, so I love it.
Every 4 years, yeah, that's stuff.
Yeah. So number 3, Daytona 500.
Ooh,
Is
Sure.
my number 3.
That's a big one.
Yeah, and then number 2 is March Madness, and I'm going with number 1, Jim Nance.
telling you.
Got it this bridge.
Yeah.
I know.
It's just
So
again,
great.
It's amazing.
Right.
Yep.
I need
That's
to
it.
record. Like, honestly, I need to remember in my head to record like every round. And they don't show it like it used to be, to where you had to buy you had to pay for a subscription to get the Masters app or something and watch like the first couple hours of Thursday and Friday on their app. But then you get like 5, 6, 7 hours on CBS Saturday and Sunday. I need to record that. And when I have trouble sleeping or something, I need to go down and just watch it, because it just relaxes you. It just puts you in such a great state of mind just watching.
Jared mentioned the U.S. Open. There's something that I like about the Open Championship, because that's so early in the morning.
Right.
Where it's like you can get up at 5:30 and it's on.
Yeah. Very cool. I agree. Yeah, that's something special. Each major kind of has something special. We go pee already.
It's all right, but we're done. Show's over.
Yep, show's over.
Hey, he's sitting here just drawing it out right now, and I asked him if he'd ever been choked by earbuds before. I got the earbuds. I'm just stretching out, ready for him.
You just get the Depends already, man. Then you won't have this
thinking
problem.
about it. Hey, I'm in his garage. I might just drop trowel and go right now.
You can get a deal on them at Costco. I just saw the other day.
I'd love to see my sister come out here while I'm peeing in the bucket in her garage. That'd be great. All right.
One of us has peed on a couch before.
All right. I got to play it one time before him. I know. He said, play it for me one time so I can dance, because I missed the beginning of it.
I did. I missed it.
All right, everybody, we're at the end of the show. Please go like and subscribe. Catch us on Network 216. Catch us on Legal Ham to the Face. Bri, God bless them.
Yep, God bless you. God bless America.
Catch us next week at 7 p.m. on every Bat channel. Let's see here. All of the Ham Illegal and all Network 216 channels. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. And like I say at the end of every show, thank you to the troops and first responders for everything you guys do. We love you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And with that being said, we are definitely uncorked, unloaded. We're out. See ya.